1. Hey, howdy doody. My name is Loki. Thank you for watching today's video, and let's get started. Have you ever wanted to, I don't know, play a Kamen Rider in your latest D&D game? Or you're a big fan of Kamen Rider, and you want to be a snack-themed superhero in your game? Well, you don't need to worry about that, because today we're going to be talking about Kamen Rider Valen and Vram. I cannot pronounce that name right without stuttering a little bit. So, either way, in making them into D&D homebrew subclasses for Monk, because everyone knows that we support equal rights and equal lefts in this house. Now, we're going to be talking about a few things in this subclass. For example, is the different forms you basically get in Kamen Rider. How do we translate them into the wonderful times of Vram and Valen? Well, your pondering is still pondering, so let's begin with these 3 steps. Since they're not the main writer, I was working with a lot of different abilities. However, for Vram and Valen, they were the easiest ones to make. However, for Vram, the last form is going to be was the hardest to balance correctly. So, how do we make these into an unstoppable fighting form for this? And if you don't know what Kamen Rider is, think Super Sentai or Power Rangers, but mainly on motorcycles and minus the mech suits. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, you're probably asking yourself, okay, how do we make the different forms of Kamen Rider Valen and Vram into feasible forms for D&D? Well, unlike the Kamen Rider Gav subclass that I'm currently working on, Vram and Valen are both mainly fist fighters, but they do have some range options. So, best way to say it is you create, and this is from the subclass, so have fun with this. You conjure a ranged weapon based using chocolate. So a chocolate themed range weapon. So you can have a revolver and it shoots magical chocolate rounds in your games, which I think is kind of funny. Or the image of that chocolate gun from Kamen Rider Gav, and you just have a chocolate gun. You just take a bite out of it and then you start blasting. Like Danny Vito say, I just started blasting. Anyway, for Valen, he was more or less I have a bow, not a gun, but my bow becomes a sai or a sickle. Either way, those 2 were going to be homebrew items. No, well, the items themselves are going to be items that I'm going to be brewing up later. Keep your eye out for that video. But I'm going to take, let's give you an example. The donut form, the bushel form, and the final form. Not the latest final form, because if you're a Kamen Rider fan, you know what I'm talking about. Valen, I'm going to be taking the first form, but that's self-explanatory. The first form of Vram, the second form, the rotten stomach form, and the final form. If you want to see how I did that and me explaining each one of them, please go ahead, join me in this wonderful journey of finding out how to make a Kamen Rider that loves to shoot chocolate bullets, shoot pudding arrows, and fire off multiple blasts of pure power in this video. Let's begin. Now, as you can clearly see, we have the Way of the Okashi, aka the Kamen Rider Valen subclass on the left, and the Way of the Prim on the right, basically Kamen Rider Valen. I mean, not Kamen Rider Vram. I got those mixed up, even though that they're right there in front on the page. Anyway, I did give them some lore about how they fit into a certain in some games. However, this is basically just fluff. It is fluff. This is all you need to know. Is that you gain proficiency in survival check, in the survival check for both of them, I believe. Yeah, you get an extra tool, as in cooking utensils. So that's also good. Fits in with the food theme of the whole 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 thing, and you can spend your key on certain spells that you have access to. If you have the ingredients for it, there you go. Third level, you can spend one key point to purify some food and drink, because you might need to have some food and drink in, so you can have a good sweet chocolatey meal or some pudding just to get some good chocolatey fun. Sixth level, and this is for both of them. At sixth level, you can create food and water. I see it as making your chi take physical physical form, so you can eat it. Come on, who doesn't want to eat chocolate chi? And at 17th level, you get Hero's Feast. It's if you know what that spell is, you know how used it is for a final fight. There are a few things that I will say that these are truly, I believe, final products. So there you go. For Valen, or the Okashi way of the Okashi, you have the chocolate range weapon. That is your special weapon, or your ability to change into this form. However, you create it when entering this form. Once you do, you get all the Choco Dawn, or you get a ranged weapon. It takes the stats of a weapon that is already in DnD, and if your DM approves of it, then there you go. You can have a pistol in your game. It just shoots magical chocolate rounds. And you see, as you can clearly see here, if I zoom in and slide to the left, you get scalable abilities. So that is something that you should look forward to in this subclass. And if we go to here, the donut form is basically gives you cover and stuff like that. And you can restrain an enemy and take them down or capture them, if depending on what quest you're on, you can do that. Or if you just want to blast them in the face, like point blank, blast. But Choco Log form creates an area of difficult terrain. Your opponent, and if you're reading this, about 60 feet area for 1 minute difficult terrain. So, and you conjure a big fuck off battle axe that you can treat as a monk weapon. So, I will be making the axes, the guns, the blasters, all that from a Kamen Rider into a supplementary homebrew item list, so you guys can see it and have fun with it. And custom chocolate frappe is basically the super form that you get at the end of base or normal Kamen Rider Gav after he beat the president and his brother, and so on and so forth. Sorry for the minor spoilers, but it's been a while, so you should really watch it. But you get Choco Breath, as in a dragon's breath weapon from Ascended Dragon, so have fun with that thought. And Frappe Blast. And I'm not expecting a lot of games to go to 17th level, so I made this ability, these forms, as close as I can to the show forms. So there you go. And with that all said and done, that's Valen. And if you like looking at this, you can take a screenshot, or at the end of the video, I can tell you how you can get them. with Prin or Vram. They both have V's. That's probably why it's getting to me. But with Vram, he has a similar style, similar fluff test, same spell list that you can use, but putting custom, it gives you temporary HP, and I should really add that to all the other ones, but 2 rolls of your hit die, and then spend 1 key to enter this form, blah blah blah, and you get a bow slash scythe. Think of it as your long range, close range of effective list. Doesn't have as many built-in whistles because we don't really explore Vram in the show that much, but we do get a counterpart for it. I mean, and you don't see that many forms, so it took me a while to find out. Oh, rotten stomach form. So, aka noir coffee pudding. So jelly form, you get temporary HP. However, more you use its special effect, as in turning invisible, you lose HP temporary HP. So I figured that could be a fun little thing to have. When like, okay, how much temp HP do I have? Making that into a resource you need to track. That I think is very fun to see, or I think it's very fun to have on hand. At 11th level, you get Noir Pudding form. You get temporary HP. That's always fun. Spend 2, and you can spend 2 key points to negate 1 attack. The damage from one negate damage of 1 attack. Then you can spend 2 key points to gain advantage on that on your next attack. It's basically in Kamen Rider Gav and the Rotten Stomach special. Noir coffee form. I'm calling it Noir coffee form, but it's spice something. But in that form, he quite literally absorb damage into his little like gauntlet, jello gauntlet things. So I was like, okay, how do I implement that? There you go. It's at 11th level. That's probably why I gave it this effect, because you usually start and end at like 15th, or before you get the fun stuff, truly fun stuff at 17th level and so on. Other than that, I believe that this is a fun little tidbit to the show. And then a la mode. This is Jello a la mode form. You get temporary HP, 2 rolls of your hit die, and this one has the funnest thing. You can create a zone of stale, as in like Jello, and to hold on to an enemy, and you gain their movement speed becomes 0 because they're locked in by Jello. Then you get advantage on, spend a key, get advantage on your next attack. And bam, you start then you start blasting. Basically, it's a fun class. I'm truly hopeful that you guys try it and enjoy this little thing. And hopefully you like my new slime form that I am talking to you guys through. If you don't, you don't. But to send you off with the knowledge that you can actually get these PDF files, or these PDFs of the Way of the Okashi and Way of Vram. I know that I'm not the largest YouTuber, but I have started a Ko-fi account. And it's as low as $1. So if you want to buy and get a hint for my next video, yeah, I'm making more videos this year. Hopefully I can get enough to get something out of it and probably upgrade something. I don't know. But there's a Ko-fi account. I'll leave a link to it in the description. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And the whole coffee thing is about as low as $1, so you can just go to the first post and get these two guys, download the PDFs. There you go. Hope hopefully you enjoyed the video though, and thank you for at least watching to this far, or at least watching, having fun with, or pointing and laughing at me. Either way, thank you for watching. Please come again, and I am out. Peace.